Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm coming to you with a new Build-A-Squad series. Basically the new idea for this series is that I'm going to go through squad design. I'm going to have one central idea that I want to build a squad around. I'm going to take you through the thought process. I'm going to build the squad out in front of you and let get your feedback on it. And then after a week or two, I'll actually try and get a bat rep in of the squad in action so you can see how it performs. We'll talk about what its weaknesses are or whatever. After I'm done with the video, you know, I'd love for you to comment and tell me what you think of it. How would you change the squad? What do you think its weaknesses are? What do you think its strengths are? And you know, give me some feedback on it, and maybe it'll be changed up a little bit, maybe it'll go as is, or maybe I'll split it into two different directions and do one of each. So today's challenge is the TIE Advanced. Specifically, I'm focusing on the Pilot Maarek Stele. The idea behind this build is I like the TIE Advanced. I have 6 of them, and I'm always trying to find different ways to use it. You know, people always fly Vader if they fly a TIE Advanced at all, and Maarek Stele never sees any play. And so I've been trying to think of different ways to use him, and I have a way I'm going to fly 2 Advanced if I can, or more. I've flown as much as 3 before. But I have some ideas. I'm going to take you through the thought process, and the focus is really going to be Maarek Stele. This is going to be a build for fun, but I'm going to try and find a way to make it competitive. So let's get started. Alright, so I've got my 4 basic advanced cards, pilots, laid out in front of me. Now I told you I wanted to focus on Maarek Stele. He's 27 points, pilot skill 7, and whenever he deals a face-up damage card to the defender, i.e. a crit, instead he can draw 3 damage cards, choose 1 to deal, and discard the others. So, you know, that'll be fun. I've never really gotten to use that before. I tried flying him once, won't be able to really, wasn't able to use it, but here I've got Darth Vader, then I've got Storm Squadron and Tempest Squadron. He's 23, pilot skill 2, 21 points here, pilot skill 2, 23 points here, pilot skill 4. So just thinking about it right away, you know, I'm gonna just lay them out. So I definitely want Maarek Stele, so I'm gonna definitely have him. He's the focus of the build. I'm thinking if I wanted to go 4 ships, I could get 4 Tempest Squadron pilots. I'm sorry, 3 extra Tempest Squadrons. So it would give me 4 advanced, and that would come out to 90 points. 27 plus 21 times 3 equals 90 points. Now, I could up the pilot skill by increasing them all to Storm Squadron. That's at 6 extra points, because it's 2 more for each one, so that would bring me up to 96. Then I'd end up having only 4 points left over, so I could probably put like a missile or something on Maarek Stele, but that would be a build. Like I've flown something like that before, and you just don't have enough firepower, you don't have enough options, so I don't want to do that. I could maybe go 1 less. That would give me a lot of points. That would bring it down to 69 points for just 3 ships, and I'd have a lot of options, but I'd probably have too much because these guys don't really have that much they can put on them. So maybe the combination lies somewhere in between. I've also thought about the way to maximize the ability to get a crit with Maarek Stele, because that's what I really want to do. So I know that I'm going to want to add something else to him. I'm going to probably add some kind of missile. I'm thinking Captain Jonas. I'm thinking a TIE bomber, adding a bomber into the build. Let me toss one up here. I'll put my special lightning painted Captain Jonas on there. Okay, so I'm going to put Captain Jonas in. Now if I have these 2 guys, 21 and 21, 27 and 22, that's going to come up to 91 points. Now that gives me a little bit of play to put some missiles on. We don't have proton rockets yet. I could fit a proton rocket, proton rocket, proton rocket, but we don't have those out yet. Rebel Aces is still on the boat. So I'm not going to go with that. I can't put torpedoes on an advanced, so I have the option of going with maybe 2 4-point missiles, or 5 and a 4, But then I have 2 missile deliveries. I have 3 missile deliveries in these advanced, and I only have enough really to put 2 missiles. So that just is inefficient. That's not what I want to do. You have 4 ships on the board, which is nice, but one, like, you know, a naked advanced isn't, you know, it's not a bad ship. It's just a little overcosted. If it costed like 15 or 17, then it'd be a great cost for a naked ship. So I need to do something else because I do want to fly advanced, but I want this to be fun. So what am I going to add? I need to add something. I want to add marksmanship to him. Let me go grab that. All right, so it's either marksmanship or predator. I'm going to go with predator is my favorite upgrade. I decided I'm going to go with predator. That brings him up to 30 points, brings this whole squad up to 94. I have 6 points floating. I can also give him a, if I'm going to have Jonas, and one of the reasons I brought Jonas is because I'm thinking I'm giving Maarek Stele a cluster missile also, which costs 4, brings me up to 98. That would give me enough to maybe put a seismic charge on Jonas, which is that's a nice option, and that would bring me right to 100. Only problem is, while this is a nice Maarek Stele, I have 2 weaker advanced here that aren't really being used that well. So I have some options, and what I was thinking about is the problem with this build is that Maarek's got to get a crit in. And this is the problem with most people when they run Maarek Stele. They got to get a crit. So I want him to not shoot first, because what's going to happen is even if he does damage, it's going to go through shields. And his crit's going to get applied to shields, so it's not just a crit, he has to deal with face-up damage, which means he has to go through shields. And until they come up with some kind of upgrade that lets you pierce their shields, that's not going to work. So what if I get Vader in for place of one of these guys? That's going to be 8 more points of a cost, so I'm going to have to drop something. And I can't drop too much, so I'm going to consider going with only 3 ships for the time being. So if I'm going with only 3 ships, I'm going to have a lot more points to play around with. So right now, I have a cluster missile on Maarek Stele, so 27 plus 3 plus 4. It makes him 34 points, plus 22 for Jonas, plus 29 for Vader. Gives me 85 points. It gives me 15 points to spare. Now I can definitely load up Jonas and Vader with that. I can give them each an assault missile, and that still gives me 5 extra points to fly around with. I can give Vader engine upgrade, which would be 4. That gives me 1 more point for something like maybe veteran instincts. And I like that idea. So let me pull veteran instincts out here. See, if I give Jonas veteran instincts, then he's going to effectively be an 8, which means I'll have 9, 8, 7. I like that. I like that Maarek Stele will fire last, but he's still high at a pilot skill 7, so he's still going to be one of the first people shooting. So Maarek Stele is going to fly last with pilot skill 7, or fire last of my guys, which means if I concentrate fire, Vader can target their shields, Captain Jonas can target their shields at a relative 8, and then Stele will have the best chance of hitting them with their shields down. And cluster missiles fires twice. I do see a problem here. I am seeing a problem, and that is I have Jonas and Predator. Well, that's not a problem. That's good. Jonas is going to allow me to reroll 2. Predator will allow me to reroll 1, because Predator doesn't say when attacking with primary weapons, so I can use that for secondary. So I can reroll any of the 3 die on the cluster missiles that I want, which is nice. Alright, so now that gives me Vader with engine upgrade, and I got assault missiles for both. I am not sure I want to go with that, because assault missiles aren't going to work versus smaller. Like if I go up against the Falcon, assault missiles not going to be as good. If I have Jonas, he helps with the secondaries, but I'd rather have cluster missiles. So why don't I consider a cluster missile on Vader, which is, I have more potential. Yeah, so, alright, there's a cluster missile for Vader. I have veteran instincts on Jonas. I have some more points there. And actually, this might work. Alright, so I have an idea. And I have an idea of going with 2. I gotta grab some more cards. So let me try this. Alright, so I gave Vader Squad Leader, and I'll explain, and I also gave the Jonas Homing Missile instead of the Assault Missile. A lot of people use Assault Missile, and I get it. I think with the new meta that we're gonna see people flying out of formation more, so Assault Missiles aren't gonna be as useful. So that's what I'm thinking. Alright, so the Homing Missile, the reason I'm using it is it's still 4 and that's a 2 to 3 range, but I don't have to spend my target lock. So I like that idea. I can actually use, because Jonas doesn't get any modifications. So if I can use my own target lock then to modify the homing missile, I have a lot more chance of actually dealing damage, because otherwise I could just roll 4 blank dice or 2 blanks and 2 focuses or whatever. Or 1 hit and 3 focuses and they roll 1 evade. So, homing missile, I have a better chance to actually deal damage, i.e. I have a better chance to actually lower some shields for Maarek Stele to come in. I gave Vader Squad Leader because this gives me some options. I don't ever use Squad Leader, but Vader has the ability to, he takes 2 actions during his turn. Now, he can either keep them both for himself, or being that everybody's using missiles and everybody's using stuff that would benefit from both a target lock and a focus, it gives me a lot of options. And primarily, this is actually causing me to want to switch from Predator to Marksmanship here on Maarek Stele. So, Marksmanship isn't good for defense. It's not. But it does affect every attack in a round. And normally you only see Marksmanship with like a Han shoots first list or with Corin Horn. But Maarek Stele can use it. Actually, sometimes you might see it on 10 Num as well. So the cluster missile is going to do 2 separate attacks. I already get 2 re-rolls with Jonas. So Predator was not as useful because I'm probably going to roll at least 1 hit. So I probably only need to re-roll 2 dice on the tops. So I'm probably going to at least roll 1 hit. Marksmanship gives me at least a crit, for a focus. At least 1 crit if I have a focus. So, I'm maximizing my potential of getting a crit with Maarek Stele, and also maximizing my potential of it going through shields because I have 2 guys shooting first. So that's great. I think I'm settling on this for Maarek Stele. Vader, the cluster missile, I get the most from Jonas with that. The biggest weakness I have right now is if Jonas gets blown up. Also, after Jonas shoots his missile, he's got nothing. Now, with this current build right here, I have 96 points. No, I'm sorry, 97. 97 points. For some reason, I thought Marksmanship was 2 when I swapped it out. I have 97 points. This gives me 3 points to spare. Now, I could throw on an ion pulse missile onto Jonas. I could throw a proximity or a seismic charge on him. If I do seismic charge, I'll have 1 point to spare, which might be useful for initiative. I'm leaning towards doing this for right now. I'm going to try a flechette torpedo, which only costs 2, and that gives me munitions failsafe. Now, munitions failsafe is something I wanted to put something in this build that was newer from Wave 4. This is, to make him a little more relative. I have 2 different missiles on this guy, so he has a chance to shoot them both. He's got enough hull that he'll survive if they start going after him right away. I think it's worth it. I mean, he's got, the way I look at this right now, I'm going to move first. Vader's going to come in. He's going to move last. So Maarek Stele will move first. He'll take marksmanship, because even if they have some pilot skill 8s or 9s, Maarek Stele will take marksmanship for his first action, which is, he's going to be useful for him regardless. Then Captain Jonas will come in. He will target lock. This is probably turn 2, because turn 1 we're going to take it slow. Captain Jonas will come in and target lock, and then he'll be able to fire his homing missile that first combat. Then Vader will come in. If Vader can target lock, he will target lock. And then for his second action, he will pass another one to Maarek Stele, who will then target lock. Now, Maarek Stele has marksmanship and target lock, and Captain Jonas hopefully at range 1 as well. So Maarek Stele is all set to just unleash fury. So so then comes shooting. Darth Vader shoots, fires his cluster missile. Now he won't have a focus on it, but I have a reroll for each of them, so I'm probably going to get a couple of hits with Vader. Hopefully bring down shields. If I don't bring down shields, then I have Jonas here. And this all depends on who I'm targeting. If I'm going against a Falcon or a Slave, I'm going to have to make Jonas shoot his homing missile at the same ship. Could be very nice because they can't use an evade token. I mean, not too many people evade nowadays, but you do see a little bit more evade tokens on the anybody who's got the Stygian Particle Accelerator on a Phantom, so homing missile could get a little more use because of that. So Jonas is going to go second. If there's and his job is if the shields aren't down from Vader, Jonas takes down the shields. And then Maarek Stele comes in with the 4th shot with the cluster missile with marksmanship. He's probably going to get 6, out of the 6 dice he rolls, he's probably going to roll, at least 5 hits and at least 2 crits. So hopefully he gets a crit to go through, and that's the build. So I'll set him up, and I'll do like a practice thing, and we'll see how it looks. All right, so I'm gonna assume people are just doing simple maneuvers here. Assuming we got a regular bounty hunter here, and then like maybe a 5 skill interceptor there. Somebody who would still come in after, maybe even a 7. So they come in, and assuming we're still out of range, he'll focus. Bounty hunter will probably focus. Maybe he's got a double focus. Let's assume the worst. Let's assume he's a bounty hunter who's got a recon specialist, and he gets a double focus. I'll give him a double focus just for good measure. Make it hard. So moving first is going to be Maarek Stele. He's going to move forward. He's going to marksmanship, and I will use an energy token to indicate marksmanship. Then Jonas is going to come up, and of course I'm knocking ships. Jonas will come up and I get target lock on the bounty hunter. So boom, boom. Then Vader will come up. Don't forget Jonas is an 8 right now. That's why he's moving after Maarek Stele, because he's got veteran instincts. Vader will come up. His first action will also be to get target lock on the bounty hunter. And for his next action, I use squad leader and pass Maarek Stele. The same thing. So they all 3 have target lock on the bounty hunter. And now they're all 3 going to shoot before the bounty hunter, assuming that it's a regular generic bounty hunter. So first things first, Vader, who is within range 1 of Jonas, if I fly them side by side, he's going to spend his target lock and fire his cluster missile. Unmodified, but we do get to reroll 2. I'll reroll 2, I got 1 hit. Alright, so I get 2 hits and a focus, which is nothing. Bounty hunter gets to roll 2. He rolls 1 evade, loses 1 shield. And I do this again, and I got a crit, and I'll re-roll 2. Alright, another 2 hits, one of them has a crit, and then the bounty hunter rolls 2, rolls 1 evade, so it takes another. So the bounty hunter's got 2 shields left, which means Jonas's job is now to continue to try and take down shields. So Jonas is going to fire his homing missile. Doesn't require him to spend his target lock, and he gets to roll 4 dice. He will spend his target lock now and re-roll 3 of them. So that's not good. That's only 2 hits. Bounty hunter rolls. Wow, 2 evades. All right. So that got well. I get to keep the homing missile because I have munitions failsafe. So that's actually pretty good. I get to keep it. That turned out to be nice. That's especially. Now I did spend the target lock though, but it's nice to be able to keep a 5-point missile. And then now Stele gets to shoot. So we'll take. He's going to spend his target lock. Now he's still got marksmanship, so those one of those focuses will get changed. I will re-roll 2 for Jonas. Now I already got a crit there, and I have a focus, which gets changed to a crit. So actually that's 3 crits with Maarek Stele. That's going to be 2 shields gone and a face-up damage. And guess what? We get to use Maarek Stele's ability. The very first test run, I get to use Maarek Stele's ability. So I'm going to look at what these are. I have direct hit, console fire, and stunned pilot. Stunned pilot isn't that great. It would be 1 more damage, but it's potential. I'd rather go with the direct hit for right now, because he's only got 6 hull, so, and I get to attack 1 more time, so I might be able to kill him. Alright, so here comes the second attack. Oh, he didn't get to roll evade, sorry. Actually, he evades 2, so he only... It helps if you roll evasion dice. Never mind, he doesn't get a direct hit. Alright, next attack. I'll spend... Well, I'll just re-roll this 1. Spend the focus, so that's 2 more hits and a crit. And he gets 1 evade, so he loses that, takes a damage. And then injured pilot, direct hit or direct hit. So he's down to half. So the bounty hunter's got 3 hull left. So that was the alpha strike. It could have gone a little bit better, but you know, that's a lot of damage on a really big ship for an alpha strike. Now I've still got the cluster missiles spent on both of them, but I still got marksmanship on Maarek Stele. I've still got both missiles on Jonas. Vader can still give... I mean, Maarek Stele is still going to be good with target lock and marksmanship, so Vader can still pass him actions, but right now he can actually pass Jonas the extra actions to fire his homing missiles and flechette torpedoes with you know, both target lock and a focus. So I've still got a lot of options after the alpha strike has been completed. And if this were a different build where that just had like a Y-wing or a B-wing that was loaded out, I would have killed it. So, plus he would have had less evasion and he wouldn't have had the double focus. So I kind of give myself a difficult target to kill there. But I think it's a pretty strong alpha strike. You can, you know, if I target their most threatening ship, it's definitely a way to, you know, hopefully shoot first and hopefully take out somebody. So hope you like the squad building exercise. Let me know what you would do to change it up, and what would you do differently? What would you do? How would you fly it? Would you try and fly them differently? Maybe you would set them up to come all at different angles. I mean, I don't think you'd do that because I mean you want to have Captain Jonas, but maybe you'd form them up differently. Put somebody in the back. Anything that you would do differently, or give me some feedback. Let me know what you think, and you know, subscribe if you like seeing this, because I'm probably going to do some more squad building challenges. Also, let me know if there's a squad, if there's a pilot you want me to base a squad on, somebody who's really bad, and you know, we want to see if we can make a winning squad out of a terrible pilot. So let me know. Thanks for watching.